Hi everybody, I am so excited because this is my first video for my blog, Unscarred Naturally, where you get to learn more about my journey with Lichen Planopilaris. I know you're like, what is that? So if you want to know more about what I've gone through in the past year, stay tuned. So I think I've told this story probably a million times to people who know me, so just bear with me because just sharing this with the world is a whole lot different, and it's just surreal to have gone through this journey. But it started off in January 2019. Prior to me having any issues, I was wearing braids, protective styles, twist outs, pin-ups, anything you could think of. And so around that time, I got my hair braided by a new hair braider. So shortly after I got my hair braided, I noticed that I was getting like little tiny sores on my scalp. But I kind of ignored it because, like, just being a Black woman, and we can take pretty much anything when it comes to hair. So if you ever had a relaxer, you probably had scabs, it burned, you dealt with it, you got it rinsed out later, as long as it was straight. And if you had braids, you've dealt with going to shots where they pull your hair to its maximum. So me having scabs, or actually like little tiny sores on my scalp, really wasn't a big deal. I noticed it, but I was like, I got braids, so what difference does it make? So anyway, I took out the braids thinking that maybe because of the tension, it would lessen up after taking them out. So I took them out, went to my hairstylist, and she checked it out. We decided to wash and, condition everything regularly. She might have put some type of treatment on it, and we just went on because, that type of stuff just happens. So the next month, I noticed that these sores did not go away. Okay. Not only that, but the crown part of my scalp was burning. I could not pull my hair, and it was thinning. So I'm like, okay, I might need to go to a dermatologist because this is weird, right? So I decided to schedule an appointment with my dermatologist. Very good dermatologist in Atlanta area, very popular dermatologist. So when it comes to popularity, we know that it's hard to get an appointment, right? So I decided to try to get an appointment. They said she was not going to be available till the end of April. Mind you, this is February. So she has a nurse practitioner that also works there who was available at the beginning of April, which was still bad. But I was like, you know what? I know she's good. I went to her as a child. It'll be okay. So I finally get to my appointment a month later. Of course, scalp did not get any better. I was hoping it would so I could cancel my appointment. And the first thing that lady said when she looked at my scalp was, "Ooh, your scalp is dirty. I don't know if I can get through it and find anything, but I'll try. I'll try to do some type of, I guess it's called a culture test to see if I can find anything, but it's really dirty." And so for me, I thought that if I didn't wash it for a few days, maybe she could really see how bad my scalp was, because when I washed it, it didn't look as bad. But when I didn't wash it, right, it looked horrible. So I want her to see it to its full potential of just bad. So she did the test. She came back. She said it looked like I have dermatitis, which I've been diagnosed with before. She said that I also had a scalp fungus and some other things I can't even remember, to be honest with you. So I said, okay. So she prescribed me 30 days. No. She prescribed me 10 days worth of antibiotics, some type of fungus treatment. And if anybody knows about that pink shampoo, it's called ketoconazole, whatever. She gave me that too. They give everybody that shampoo. You have dandruff, you get that shampoo. Ooh, you get anything, right? But I just wanted to get better. So I had a follow-up in about 30 days. So I went on and decided to go ahead and do it. 30 days passed, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. So what I decided to do, go back like I was supposed to and tell her, okay, my scalp is the same. First thing she says, are you sure you're doing everything correctly? As if that was the only option to give me for treatment, right? So she goes through and shows me how I should be washing my hair, which is funny because I've been washing my hair forever, right? And gives me another prescription of antibiotics, but something stronger, and for 30 days. So let me just tell you right now, I do not like antibiotics. I know what they do to your gut. I can't stand them. They're awful, okay? That's just my opinion. For each his own. I decided not to take the antibiotics. I don't know. I just didn't. But I did continue to shampoo my hair and all the other stuff. I did go back one more time, and she said maybe we should do a scalp biopsy, but I just was over it. First of all, she was very rude and mean for someone that's supposed to be helping me. I'm in my most vulnerable stage, and something is new, and you're not even nice about it. So I was like, okay, bye. So after that, I just went months without even worrying about it. It hurt. I went to a trip in Destin, and the sun, which I found out later is a trigger. I was out in the sun on the beach. My scalp was lit, and I'm talking lit, not fun lit. Lit like on fire, to the point where I had to drench my scalp with aloe vera. It was bad. It was really bad. But I did not go to the dermatologist again. I just kept on going about my business. And so in July, my best friend got married. I wanted to make sure I looked nice. I had to travel to Montgomery. I got a cute hairstyle, twisted up into a bun, and it messed my scalp up so bad. It was bleeding. It had sores. My head throbbed. I kept it in too long because I didn't want to waste my money, because, you know, it can be very expensive when you go get your hair done. And, you know, I'm just good at ignoring things. Like, I've dealt with so many different things and pain in the body that I'm sure y'all can relate. And you ignore it because you think it's going to go away. But this time it didn't. I went through almost the first semester of school without even getting treatment, just complaining. I stopped going to get my hair done because I just could not take the fact of anybody putting their hands in my head. People have all these suggestions for me. Oh, you should do aloe vera. Oh, you should do apple cider vinegar. Oh, this, that. And I tried everything and nothing worked. So finally, in October, but right before Tennessee State homecoming, I decided to go to a new dermatologist. A friend of mine recommended one, went there. I was in there for all of 5 minutes. She came in real quick. She looked at my scalp. Mind you, I had braids. She looked at the braids. She said, oh, you have folliculitis. Gave me some type of cream stuff to put on it, and bye. Okay. I was like, okay. You know, it took me longer to get to the dermatologist than to sit there, right? That cream messed my scalp up. It dried it up so bad. Like, if you've ever had like a sore, or like something like let's say you fall on a bike and you had a sore, and it gets that yellowy pus looking color when it's trying to heal, well, that's what happened. That's what it looked like. And so what I ended up doing was, at the TSU bookstore, they were selling caps. I ended up buying a TSU hat to cover it up. And my friends didn't even know why I bought that hat. They probably just thought I was just buying something because, you know, it's my homecoming. But I had to cover that stuff up. It looked gross. I didn't want anybody looking at my scalp. Whew. But I still did not go anywhere else after that. It took me a month. November was a trying month. My grandmother fell, was in a hospital, car got totaled, and then I got the scalp thing. So I'm like, okay, something got to give. So I decided to go to third and last dermatologist. Nice lady, nice place, or whatever, and at that time. And went in, she looked at my scalp, and she said, it looks like you have alopecia. I'm like, alopecia? Now, the type of alopecia, and I can't remember that she said, is from like overstyling, manipulating your hair. And that made plenty of sense because I've had so many different hairstyles. So I was like, okay. So I wasn't too worried about it because it was fixable, and it just gave me some relief to know that's what I had. She was like, but I need to do a scalp biopsy to make sure. That I've heard that before. I'm gonna actually get it this time. Got a scalp biopsy. 2 weeks later, the nurse called me and said I had Lichen Planopilaris. I'm like, wait, let me get a piece of paper so I can write this down because I don't even know what you're talking about. Lichen Planopilaris. Come to find out, Lichen Planopilaris is a type of scarring alopecia that results in permanent, not temporary, permanent hair loss. A scar forms in the area and it's a done deal. And also, there's no proven treatment for real. No one knows where it comes from. It's autoimmune. So that's that. So you can just imagine how I felt because I'm like, what? All my hair could go away forever? I don't know if the treatment's gonna work for real. I got this, and where does it come from? It's not hereditary. No one else in my family has it, right? Okay. So I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? I know what it is now. What do I need to do? So she said, I will have to be on antibiotics for a year. Okay. Steroids. And if the antibiotics is not strong enough, then I have to get on Plaquenil, which they give lupus patients. So you know it's strong, right? And you have to get eye exams frequently because it could blur your vision. Okay. So I went on and said, okay, I'll take the antibiotics, steroids. I'm not getting any steroid shots in my head, but I can take something that can actually like topical. She gave me that. So I started taking those antibiotics and I felt bad every day. And it wasn't even a physical bad. It was a mental bad because I just knew it was going to be no good. All right, so it's the new year. Okay, I'm still taking these antibiotics, not feeling great about it. Talked to my aunt. She said, have you ever tried functional medicine? She was like, you need to look into that alternative medicine practices. You might like that. So I looked for a doctor in Roswell, and she specializes in holistic healing. I called her, set up a consultation. It was wonderful. Everything I love, but it costs so much money. And you're coming out of pocket. Even though your insurance, you use your insurance, it doesn't cover that stuff. Of course it doesn't cover it because it's not traditional, right? So it sounded wonderful, but you know, I couldn't do nothing with that. I didn't have any money like that. I still had bills from dermatologist number 1, 2, and 3, okay? So I got desperate. I looked into some allergists, some immunologists, went to them. That was just a waste. Went back to the dermatologist that I last went to because by then my grandmother was severely ill. My scalp was on fire to the point where I had to take extra strength Tylenol at least 4 times a day just to make it. I was starting to get scabs all over my head. I could not sleep on my pillow at night. I had to hang off the bed. It was that bad. I got desperate. I got so desperate. So I said, you know what? I'm about to get these steroid shots that I said I was not going to get. I'm about to get these. I'm going to do it because what else I'm going to do, right? So I went there, and I swear it was God because I was getting ready to get them. She looked at my scalp. She said, something looked weird. Like, why is your scalp crusting over? Come to find out I had a fungus. And you cannot give steroid shots when you have fungus. Thank you, Jesus. So that right there said a lot to me. And then some events happened afterwards I don't even want to talk about because that place was just awful, okay? Very unprofessional, but I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, I end up calling the doctor again. My daddy was very worried about me. He said, you need to go. And by then, my grandmother died. I didn't even get to say that. My grandmama died. And it was just bad. It was really bad. So I called the doctor, made my appointment in March, went there, changed my whole life. We talked about from birth, was I breastfed? Did I have any allergies, injuries? I mean, how many times did I take antibiotics from day one? I realized I've been on antibiotics for so many different things. You can get on antibiotics for everything. I remember being on antibiotics for my sinuses once, right? Sinus infection. That stuff builds up and it tears up your gut. And so she put me on a diet where I could not eat gluten. I could not eat added sugars. Could not eat dairy. No processed foods, just a whole bunch of stuff, and gave me these different supplements. And when I tell you the transformation was real, And I later found out from my blood work that my inflammation was chronic, stress levels was high, omega-3s were low, vitamin E was low. So I had all these deficiencies. Now, mind you, what I didn't say before was that dermatologist, the last one, said she specialized in holistic healing, but yet she had no suggestions for that. I made it seem like that the steroids and the antibiotics was the only way to go, but guess what? It wasn't. Now, through that process, I lost a lot of hair, okay? When those scabs formed, they had to come off. So in the front, you can't tell, but in the back is gone. When I tell you, I feel so much better. Now, I haven't completely gotten rid of it. It's not in remission. But what I will say is I feel so much better. And the purpose of this blog is to help other people like me conquer this. Because the first thing when I looked up Lichen Planopilaris, I just saw all these studies of different treatments and things that could help, but they didn't know for real. I couldn't find people like me to talk to. And I later just researching hard on Facebook, on Instagram, finding people, but the communities are so small. And I know through holistic healing, taking care of your body, your health, is better than all that medicine combined. And I have not taken extra strength Tylenol in a long time. So I'm just thankful to God that I am here. And my purpose is to bless those who are dealing with alopecia, who are dealing with autoimmune, who are dealing with Lichen Planopilaris, whatever. If you just want to get fit and feel better, this is for you. So I thank you so much for joining me. And welcome to my story and my blog, Unscarred Naturally.